Right then. This is what I've been waiting for all week. It's Hot Pursuit, which has, as I said, been described by some outlets as a comedy. Ryan will argue the case that it is not.
So, do you want me to... I'm not going to sort of review this film. As in essence, I'm going to completely obliterate the genre.
Great, you've got 10 minutes.
Right,
go for it.
I hate comedy in Hollywood.
Right.
I hate it.
So you're on my level now.
Yeah, I have. This past 5 years have been probably the worst in terms of like new comedies that have been coming out from Hollywood. Like I've had painful, like, honestly, like
Yes. It's sort of hard to imagine that this film came anywhere near Hollywood and wasn't just shot in some backyard somewhere. But, yeah.
And obviously there have been, it's decent stuff put in there in between. You've obviously had like things like 21 Jump Street thrown in there, but just the main thing that's brought in there is just everything is just. I will ask that you will. I can actually review it because I will definitely.
There may be
people
people out there who do want to go see it, and they need to know what it's
so
all about.
Obviously, Hot Pursuit's a new film by director Anne Fletcher. Sorry, not Fletcher. Oh, poor Anne. I'm sorry, Anne. I'm so sorry.
This is what it does.
I'm starting to rev up here, but I'm sorry what I'm going to do to your film also. But yeah, it's a new comedy by Anne Fletcher, who's basically
Again,
the
Fletcher.
Follows a character called Rose Cooper, played by Reese Witherspoon, who's had a bit of a resurgence lately with their roles in Inherent Vice and Wild, both great little films.
And down she goes again.
Yeah, she plays a San Antonio Police Department officer whose work ethic has made her too intense in her personal life. And at the station, she's brought in to meet the detective, and she is informed that she's going to escort a cartel informant named Philippe Riviere and his wife Daniela, played by Sofia Vergara. And basically, they just have to race across Texas and avoid cartel members and all sorts of criminals and bad sorts who want the price on Sofia Vergara's character's head. And basically, this is a film. It's basically a basic comedy chase movie, but there's no laughs. That's the best way to put it. There is nothing. If you look at the other bad comedies this year, I mean, to say I hate comedy in Hollywood was a very big thing, but that's what this film. I don't say that I hate comedy in Hollywood. It's just what this film has made me feel. The apathy towards comedies in general. It made me feel like at one point in this film that I hate cinema, that people would do this so badly.
You seem to have calmed down a little bit, but you did say after the film that you
honestly,
did hate everything.
There's a bottle of vodka that sits next to sits on the next to the cabinet in my room. It's just sitting there, and there's a full one as well next to it. And I honestly, every 5 minutes in this film, I was like, if I start drinking now, I won't stop. If I start drinking now, I won't stop. And that's what I just thought in the entire film, because this is just the most hateful, most disgusting, horrible, vile, putrid thing that I've ever seen, in a long time. Honestly, even the other comedies this year that were dreadful had a few laughs in them. You said this was near the bottom of your list. You said it was below San Andreas and Search Party.
It's ahead of it's above those both. Yeah.
San Andreas had a few decent moments. And Search Party had one. Funny-ish laugh.
Nope.
That's it, one laugh. This had literally nothing. Honestly, nothing that I even smiled on. I've been watching Curb Your Enthusiasm recently finally, and there's a lot of looking away from the screen there and just complete horror at what things like Larry David does. But I was looking away here, not in awkwardness of what was going on. I was looking away from Hot Pursuit and the fact that it is just completely disgusting and inherently awful in everything that it does. Reese Witherspoon has proved that she can do better than this. She is better than this. Mm-hmm. She deserves better than this. I know she's had a rickety career in the past, with some of the films that she's done, but she's proved that she can do it with films like Inherent Vice and Wild. But she's lowering herself to the stuff like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, right? And that, and this everything, just she's just not. She doesn't deserve this now, really. Just to put herself with Sofia Vergara, who I think is probably the most hateful, awful, bad person in the media, in the film and TV industry today, as in terms of actresses. She is a person who has been taking this role in a comedy which could have gone to any amount of funny women who are out there. This is the same gripe I have with the Ghostbusters remake. They are casting the most unfunny women that you can possibly get. Some people do like Kristen Wiig, some people do like Melissa McCarthy, and while I don't hate them, there are much funnier women. Get Chelsea Peretti, get anybody, get Rose Byrne who was in Spy. Get anybody, get Jenny Slate. Get anybody who's much funnier than these. Kristen Bell. Everybody's favourite from Veronica Mars. Just get funnier women than these people who are just hateful and awful. Like especially just not the other ones, but Sofia Vergara especially. I hate this thing that the fact that she is basically a celebrity who's been given a role in this film because she is a celebrity and she's been.
I would argue that people do like her in Modern Family. Because it's well written Modern Family.
It's like casting Kim Kardashian essentially. It's just someone with absolutely no talent who has been brought in off the basis that she is just a pretty face to look at and someone who might be decently funny because she's had a role in a terrible sitcom, and that's essentially what this is. It is just absolutely no laughs a minute. We want to make you drink yourself to death, and essentially it is the worst film I've seen in about 5 years, and this is a week after I watched The Human Centipede 3. Drops the mic.
Right, okay.
I'm guessing that's a no.
Is that a no then?
So yeah, take your kids, take your wife, have a wax a day.
See, the thing is, you can't actually take the kids. It's a 12.
Jesus.
I hate cinema.
It's a 12, yeah. No, I did not like it either. I mean,
I honestly questioned what I was doing for like 10 seconds until I realised there are much better films out there.
Well, of course.
I literally questioned whether I was going to do interpretive dance instead of trying to do films and TV.
I can't get quite as angry because I knew it was going to be terrible. With San Andreas, I was holding out a little bit of hope that The Rock might be decent, and he wasn't.
He was.
No, he wasn't.
Leave him alone.
In Search Party had T.J. Miller and the other Silicon Valley cast members and Alison Brie, and I was thinking, they could carry it, and they didn't. It was horrendous. This had nothing going for it. I mean, Reese Witherspoon, fine in dramatic performances, but in comedies, I know what she's like. I've seen it all before. The trailer made me wince. Sofia Vergara is very annoying, as you've established. But I will say that I think people, while they won't like the film, I think there are people who like Sofia Vergara. It's just that they won't like this film.
I mean, it's not.
This performance is her turn up to 11. I think in Modern Family, I've heard, while having no interest in watching it myself, that it is quite funny and that she's quite funny. But obviously in this film, and I'm unable to play a clip, but the clips that I did find for this, there are several where it's just her going, yeah, and that noise does feature heavily in the film, doesn't it?
It's just the fact that I don't hate comedy in Hollywood, but the fact that people are generally making this. They are putting time into these awful films with awful scripts and awful casting. Reese Witherspoon deserves better than this. Sofia Vergara is probably. I know she was in Chef, and you say she's decent in that.
She's decent,
presumably decent
because she's not doing something.
I'm not a fan of Modern Family, but I guess some people like that. But when you're in just these paint by numbers, just awful, unmemorable comedies that are just awful to watch at every length, that won't make you want to drink yourself into a coma. They are just awful in every way. Like honestly, it was awful.
Okay,
that's it. We're done. I'm not doing any more.
The Spark Film Show does not recommend drinking.